Hello there! After running errands in Whangarei, we sail north to Bay of Islands.
We are sailing towards Opua, our exit point from New Zealand. We finally are able to leave. Wow!
During the
Very
pandemic,
excited.
we could always leave New Zealand. Fact is that until now, we had no safe destination entry point open.
It's always here, it's a lot of wind and choppy sea at the entrance of Aotea River.
That's right.
Wind against tide, but here we are. Here we go. Hoppa. So much about washing their hands.
Bye bye, Hatea.
After coming out of Aotea River, sea conditions improved really. We've got nice waves and we're on full main. And you know, it's a little bit furled because we've got quite a bit of wind at times. We're heeling quite a bit, as you can probably see every now and then. And making good progress up north. And we got a fish. Whee! We got a fish. Oh, yeah. 2 years and 4 months ago, we were rounding Cape Reinga on our way south to explore New Zealand. And here we are rounding it this time going north towards Bay of Islands, where we'll be checking out soon to go up to Fiji and carry on our travels.
Yay!
Excited?
Happy days!
It is said that this very point was the landing of the first 7 wakas that traveled from Raiatea to Aotearoa. The arriving Maoris followed the beaconing lights of the peninsula's crystalline rocks.
Long day, long day.
Beautiful beaches, waterfalls, native bush and historical heritage make Bay of Islands a special place for both Maori and European settlers. The small district in the Northland region is shaped by 140 subtropical islands. It is home to the country's first colonial capital, the small whaling port of Russell. It is also the place where the Treaty of Waitangi was signed in 1840, giving birth to today's New Zealand.
We had already cruised Bay of Islands more than 2 years back when we first arrived in New Zealand. As we still had a month before the end of the cyclone season when we could sail to Fiji, we sailed 25 nautical miles north to discover New Zealand's best kept secret, Whangaroa Harbour.
We set sail from Russell at dawn. Sorin takes advantage to do his morning exercise lifting the anchor by hand, and we sail off with the mainsail.
Good morning, Ana. Good morning.
Good morning.
What are you up to?
I'm trying to set the route for our sailing today.
Just trying, or you're gonna do it?
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Multitask, steering, making routes. Fishy tonight! And it's gone.
Gone?
Gone. Kahawai is one of the easiest fish to catch in New Zealand. Why? Because they are omnipresent and very greedy. Not knowing that we will end up in a marina, we hope we will share our catch with fellow cruisers. We ended up having it all ourselves. Fish steak, sashimi, fish cake, and so on.
Fishing frenzy over, we are faced with some unforeseen circumstances and we need to focus on sailing.
Well, we started sailing this morning at the crack of dawn from Bay of Islands to Whangaroa. There was not much wind, so we started motoring and the engine started overheating. Luckily, I saw the gauge going up, turned it off immediately, and the wind was just enough for us to sail. So we've started sailing. It picked up later on, so we are comfortably now sailing. I've done everything I can with the engine, everything, checking water, impeller, everything, and I cannot figure out what's wrong with it. I have no idea why it's overheating. It doesn't make any sense. We changed the plan. We're going in Whangaroa Marina to see a mechanic, but we're slow because we're sailing. Light winds.
Perfect conditions for me.
Perfect conditions for Ana, but the mechanic won't work night shift, so I guess we'll get there when we get there. More money for the marina. Plus is we caught 3 fish.
Yeah.
One of Anna's favorite activities on the boat when the weather is right. What is called?
Sunbathing.
Sunbathing, and just taking it very easy. Right, we're about to sail into Whangaroa Harbour through this little bless my soul, through this little gap here, very narrow. It says on the pilot book, chart book, do not attempt in stormy weather because it gets very rough. Since our engine is a bit moody and wants to overheat, we're trying to sail in as close as we can to the harbor, to the marina, and started only when we go into the berth to meet the mechanic. So main full speed, downwind, because we want to get there as quickly as possible. I should have the Genoa out, but hey, this is good enough for now. So yeah.
The engine concern did not hamper my immediate fascination for this special place. It cast a spell on me as soon as we approached the very narrow entrance to the harbor. The weathered, towering volcanic outcrops contrasting with the calm, clear waters are breathtaking. We are humbly advancing amongst them towards the marina in awe.
The engine concern turned out to be just a scare. After thorough investigation, by pure chance, we noticed that the temperature gauge was faulty.
Off we were on our way to discover the harbor at ease. First target, the fascinating rock outcrop overlooking the marina, the quirk of a long extinct volcano.
just came out of Whangaroa Marina, and we ran out of water as we were doing the last washing, filling up bottles and stuff. So we checked the water in the marina. It looks a bit murky. Everyone says it's okay, but we didn't want to fill up our tanks with it, so we got a spring water buoy in one of the bays here, and that's where we're going to fill up our tanks. It's a unique thing to us, right?
It's a unique thing to us to encounter that yellowish water in the marina, but except for that, the marina was great, and it's a unique thing to us to sail out of a marina and go to a water buoy to fill the water.
Go out of the marina with empty tanks.
Yeah. Hey, we got the boy!
Whoa. Smelly boy. What we do now,
Yeah.
we do this. We turn the engine off
Okay.
and then we pull ourselves to it. Right?
Okay, let me turn the engine off.
Right, so how does this work? Water comes out of the mountain, put through a hose, comes out here on this floating buoy. You tie up to the buoy, you bring your hose on deck, make this connection to the hose. So the hose is going through there, meter reading, see what we're putting in. That's the tap to turn it off. What we gotta do now, put the kettle on and have a cuppa.
How many connections you have got, you want to fix this?
Well,
Crazy.
when you do sail around the world,
Oh,
you do need all sorts of bits and pieces. Some small ones, big ones, large ones, copper ones, brass ones, plastic ones,
blue ones,
blue
yellow
ones, yellow ones,
red
hoses ones,
grey
hey, all sorts. Hello from Whangaroa. We found an absolute treasure. Well, we think it's a treasure. And that treasure is, well, Whangaroa Harbour in general. But we found this beautiful bay. There were a few boats earlier, but they all buggered off because the wind picked up a bit and it turned a bit squally and messy. We're gonna hike up to there today, right now. It's Duke's Nose. We've got some very keen hikers. Well, hiker. And it's a very short dinghy trip to shore. Yeah, so that's where the walk starts. And the limousine is waiting for us behind there. Before we start the walk, Anna, you need to promise that you'll be very quiet.
I'm always very quiet in nature.
Possible.
Look at that cloud, how it's coming up from behind the hill.
And this is Lane Cove. Cute.
That's our target over there.
Bloody walks from boats, as our friend says. Trouble with them is it's always uphill, man. And in New Zealand, straight up. We're approaching the Duke's nose, and if we give it a scratch, he might sneeze. Don't sneeze. We'll end up down there. Are you kidding me? Look at this. We've got the helmets. Take, Anna.
No helmet.
Safety lines.
No safety line, no helmet.
First aid kit.
No first aid kit on Mehalah.
You're not. Anyway, we shouldn't need any of that. We're trying to figure out if these are steps or just something to pull yourself onto. Oh yes. We use them as steps, right?
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Well, here we are. We are going up. Anna? Pipes, steel pipes drilled into the rock. That's an indication of difficulty of the game, eh, Anna?
Yes.
You like a bit of climbing. We still have
Oy, oy, oy.
all this, and it's vertical.
Lost track of the forest through the trees, forgot what I was chasing. Spent so many nights living out at sea that my heart is gone vacant. And everybody who was close to me all stayed on
They
dry
say,
land.
wait for retirement to see the world.
I just gotta feel
Well,
something. Not gonna wait till the morning because something's gonna change my mind. I don't wanna change
we've made it to the nose. Now we're looking for the other body parts.
We made it up the nose.
Well, not inside the nostrils.
That's the ocean, right?
Yes, that's the small entrance. Over there, that's the entrance to Whangaroa Harbour and all its beautiful bays. And when you think you've seen all in New Zealand, well, there's something else just around the corner.
Some more.
More beauty. And on this side, more bays and more beauty.
And my ex from high school still looks just the same as she did back
And-
in 2009.
And that little tiny dot there, that's our boat. That's Mehalah. I don't think we've ever anchored that close to shore. It looks very close to shore from up here. And there is a creek. You can go up with a dinghy at high water apparently. They should put a notice here. Come only with your friends. Yes, yeah.
What do you want to do? Oh, I wanna stay right here, chilling with my friends for another year. I would walk away from the spotlight for the good life. Come on, turn your hate into poetry, pain into power, enemies to friends, and your minutes into hours. I would walk away from the spotlight for the good life, for the good life.
We love the remote Lane Cove and we want to make the most of the fact that we are there alone in the bay. So we go for more walks and more adventures.
Always happy faces.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Because we're Leo, strong and happy. So you said that you bought for me something that made you think of me, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, but
then,
that is not necessary
hang
that
on.
you...
So then I thought,
Leo,
okay,
Leo,
I ought
Leo,
to
shut up.
buy a living gift that makes me think of Sonia and Hans, of course, but mainly of Sonia. So the word wild made me think of you. And the flower, the color of the flower made me think of both of you. Because it's pink and blue, and the combination of pink and blue is wild, right?
Yes.
So,
And the wine is called Wild, right?
and the
Wow.
wine, of course, you know, everyone loves wine.
It's the oil and milk.
Exactly.
Whilst having pizzas with our friends at the local fishing club, the record for catching the biggest fish around Whangaroa was broken, a 360 kilo swordfish. With the end of the cyclone season around the corner, we sailed back to Opua to check out of New Zealand.
Join us in our next episode for our challenging sailing to the tropics. Thanks for watching our video.
If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe, comment, give us the thumbs up and share.